Hey everyone, welcome back to 22 Panels. This is the podcast that aims to examine, explore, and elevate the medium of comics. I am Tyler, and across the interwebs from me is Tad. Hey Tad, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Going pretty good. I have like actual comics news this week.
Do you?
Yeah,
What's going
yeah.
on?
And we're gonna jump into it because some of it involves some reading.
Mm-hmm.
So last December, they announced the inaugural Hall of Fame judging panel for the Eisner Awards,
Yeah,
where rather than just having the for the vote panel, they'd have a group of like experts who picked out some people, and they actually announced 19 inductees. I'm calling them the Veterans Committee because I'm a baseball guy,
sure.
and the Hall of Fame, and it's had many different iterations through the years, but they've had what they call the Veterans Committee, where it's a much smaller group of people that like go and comb through the people that the the normal voters may have overlooked.
Right.
Uh, so it feels like that's what they're doing here. The panel is made up of retired professor, comics researcher, and author Dr. William Foster, writer, illustrator, and columnist Michael T. Gilbert, Columbia University's comics and cartoons curator and friend of the podcast Karen Green, comics educator and advocate Alonzo Nunez, independent comics scholar Jim Thompson, and dedicated comics expert Maggie Thompson, with Nunez and Jim Thompson serving as co-chairs. And I'm just going to read, or that was read from the beat. I'm going to read the list
Sure.
from the paragraph in the beat that they have it all, because if we went through everybody's full biography, it would just be too much. But they didn't write. I think this is even no, Dean Simmons wrote a nice article where he gave me one paragraph that gives us just enough to understand who everybody is. So the list includes pioneering underground cartoonist Kim Deitch, early comic book illustrator Craig Flessel, early comic strip trailblazer Arthur Burdett, A.B. Frost, African American comic book artist Billy Graham, writer, editor, critic, former editor in chief of the comics journal Fantagraphics co founder Gary Graw, Classics Illustrated creator Albert Cantor, Casper and Richie Rich creator Warren Creamer, establishing art director, managing editor for the 1930s 40 Dell Comics line, Oscar Liebeck, one of the two, Flemish woodcut novel artist Franz Mazariel, comic writer Don McGregor, Japanese mangaka Barefoot Jen, author Neji Nakazawa, influential newspaper cartoonist Noel Sickles, creator of the first female-led comic strip Polly and her pals Cliff Sterrett, African-American comic book pioneer Elmer E.C. Stoner, British artist and graphic novelist Brian Talbot, Last Gasp founder Ron Turner, artist George Tuska, colorist Lynn Varley, and influential publisher James Warren
Wow.
are all um, officially being added to the Eisner Hall of Fame.
That's great.
Um, I'm pretty certain this next one involves an already member of the Eisner Hall of Fame,
Okay.
Ramona Fredon. Um, Only a month after announcing her retirement, prolific, and this is Beat staff that wrote this. Prolific pioneer for women in the male-dominated comics, is perhaps best known for her defining runs on Aquaman and more at DC Comics, and a 15-year run on the syndicated comic strip Brenda Starr. Passed away this week at the age of 97.
Hmm.
Um, Definitely worth reading up on Ramona Fredon. I actually have been meaning to read. Um, there's a good biography of her.
Yeah.
Um, it's I think on Comixology
Yeah.
that I've been meaning to read for a while.
Okay.
But yeah, was working. I think she's been more part time for the last 20 years or so. But part-time cartoonist in your 70s, 80s, and 90s is still pretty impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the last announcement is Amazon greenlit the TV series for Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips' Criminal,
Wish I would have picked this up.
yeah, which immediately led
Yeah.
to all of the all of the trade paperbacks selling out at the distributor level. Um, Brubaker in his newsletter had already said that they were planning on a reprint already, but now they're rushing it, and it will be the largest reprint they've ever done. So
I can see that. Yeah.
it should be back on the shelves soon. Actually, there's a good chance it's on your shelves because it's out at the distributor level,
Okay.
which means that probably a lot of it was comic shops going, "Oh, I'm going to get 10 of each of these, not just
Right.
one or two."
Yeah.
So, yeah, some cool, good comic news
Yeah.
um, this week. So let's talk about some of these new comics coming new to order this month, starting with the new comic series. Take it away, Tyler.
Ain't No Grave from Scotty Young and Jorge Corona comes out from Image on May 8th.
American Nature Presents from Greg and Faith and Josh Pettinger, a new anthology series from Floating World.
Anansi Boys.
June 19th.
Anansi Boys, Neil Gaiman and Mark Bernardin and Sean Mertenbrough from Dark Horse on June 26th.
Bear Pirate Queen from Sean Lewis and Jonathan Marks Baravecchia from Image Comics on May 1st.
The Boy Wonder from Junie Ba out on DC on May 7th.
Not a number one, but Briar is returning for a second arc with number 5 from Christopher Cantwell and new artist Alex Lins from Boom Comics, May 15th.
Burning Maid from Roberto X. Molinari, Andrea L. Molinari, and Luca Panasaroli from Scout on May 22nd.
Canto, A Place Like Home from David Bohr, Drew Zucker from Dark Horse on June 5th.
Deadpool Wolverine World War III from Joe Kelly and Adam Kubert on May 1st.
Death Ratioed from Mark Russell and Lacey, AWA, May 29th.
Get Fury from Garth Ennis and Garan Perlov from Jason Burrows from Marvel on May 1st.
Grommets from Rick Remender, Brian Posehn, and Moreno Dionisio, Image Comics, May 29th.
Gun Honey Collision Course from Charles Ardai, Ang Hor Kang, Hard Case Crime, and Titan on May 15th.
Into the Unbeing, Zach Thompson, Hayden Sheridan from Dark Horse Comics on June 12th.
Joy Operation from Brian Michael Bendis and Stephen Byrne from Dark Horse on June 19th.
Mezzo, The Trial of Rodin from Tyler Chin Tanner, Jared Lujan, and Val Rodriguez. Wave Blue World, May 1st.
Mugshots from Jordan Thomas and Chris Matthews from Mad Cave on May 8th.
My Bad, Escape from Peculiar Island. Bryce Ingman, Mark Russell, Peter Krause return at Ahoy Comics on May 15th.
My Body is Unspooling from Leo Fox from Silver Sprocket on May 15th.
One for Sorrow from Jamie McElvey from Distillery on June 5th.
Resident Alien, The Book of Life from Peter Hogan and Steve Parkhouse from Dark Horse on June 26th.
Sanction from Ray Fawkes and Antonio Fuso at Mad Cave on May 15th.
Sept and Ember, Farrell Dalrymple from Floating World on May 22nd.
Space Ghost from David P. Pose and Jonathan Lau, Dynamite, May 1st.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Alpha from Jason Aaron and Tom Waltz, Chris Burnham, and Gavin Smith from IDW on June 5th.
Toxic Beach Party from Derek Charm at Oni Press on May 1st.
And Whisper Queen from Chip Zdarsky and Chris Anka from on May 1st.
All right. How about some graphic novels, Tyler?
Let's do it. All My Bicycles from Power Paula from Fantagraphics on June 19th.
Curveball from Pablo Cartaya, Miguel Diaz Rivas from Disney Hyperion on May 8th.
Delights, a story of Hieronymus Bosch by Guy Colwell from Fantagraphics on May 22nd.
Devour from Jasmine Joyner, Anthony Pugh from Abrams Comic Arts, and I totally forgot to put down the date. So, probably sometime in May.
The Field from Dave Lapp from Conundrum on May 22nd.
The Flavors of Iraq, Impressions of My Vanished Homeland from Farat Alani, Leonard Cohen, Graphic Mundi on May 8th.
George Sand, True Genius, True Woman from Severine Vidal, Kim Kosindi from Self-Made Hero on June 22nd.
Good, from the Amazon jungle to suburbia and back from David Good and Flux at MBM, May 15th.
Indigenerds, Tales from Modern Indigenous Life, various authors, edited by Alina Pete from Iron Circus on May 15th.
Isunbushi from Ryan Lang at Oni on May 15th.
J&K from John Pham from Fantagraphics on June 26th.
Karate Prom from Kyle Starks from First Second on May 8th.
Kaim, Our Journey Through the Motherlands from DeGibril and Yasmin Fan Morissette from Fair Square on May 22nd.
Kingdom Riders from Shannon Eric Denton and Marcus Toe, IDW on May 15th.
The Jellyfish from Baum from Pow Pow on May 8th.
Let's Make Bread, a comic book cookbook from Ken Forkish and Sarah B. Kahn, 10-Speed Press on May 15th.
Marshall Bass, Volume 1 from Darko McCann, Igor Corday from Ablaze on June 12th.
Noodles, Rice, and Everything Spice, a Thai comic book cookbook from Christine DeWitt and Malika Kupanen from 10-Speed Press on May 8th.
Orson Welles, Warrior of the World from Milton Lawson and Eric Whalen from Scout on May 22nd.
Peter and Liza from Miroslav Sekaluk Struja, Fantagraphics, May 22nd.
Secondhand Love from Yamada Murasaki from Drawn and Quarterly on June 5th.
Sherlock Holmes and the Doctor Was Not from Christopher Sequeira, Philip Cornell, Julie Dietrich, Ron Fortier, Nancy Holder, Rafe McGregor, Brad Mengel, Will Murray, Dennis O'Neill, Andrew Salmon, Jay Sherja Penweisen, I.A. Watson from IPI on May 29th. Clearly, that is an anthology.
The Singularity from Bear McGreary, Matt Groom, Ramon Perez, Danilo Beyruth, Matthias Bergara, Rod Reese, Eleonora Garlini, John J. Pearson, and more from Image Comics on May 8th.
That one actually goes along with an album. That's going to be fun to talk about.
That's going to be cool.
Spiral and Other Stories from Aiden Koch, New York Review Books, May 1st.
Thanks, Romina, by Julie Spaziani and S.E. Case from Scout on May 29th.
Traces of Madness, a graphic memoir, Fernando Balias and Mario Pelagier from Graphic Mundi on May 8th.
Vera Bushwhack from Sig Bergwash, Drawn and Quarterly on June 12th.
The Worst Ronin from Maggie Takuta Hall and Faith Schaefer, Harper Alley, May 22nd.
X-Dimensional Assassin Zai Through the Unfolded Earth from Jason Franks and Daniel Serra from IPI.
And I forgot to put a date down. Yellow from Jay Martin at Dark Horse on August 28th.
Young Hag and the Witch's Quest from Isabel Greenberg from Amulet on May 15th.
All right, some collections, Tyler.
Black Hammer,
We're
The
both
End.
looking forward to this first one.
Yes, we are. Black Hammer, The End from Jeff Lemire and Malachi Ward, out on Dark Horse on July 31st.
Black Widow, the Kelly Thompson, Elena Casagrande collection from Marvel on June 12th.
Dark Ride Volume 3 from Joshua Williamson and Andre Brayson and Adriana Lucas from Image on May 8th.
Deep Cuts from Kyle Higgins, Joe Clark, and 6 different artists from Dark Horse on May 22nd.
Dear Editor from Ryan K. Lindsay, Sammy Cavella from Mad Cave on May 8th.
/ Back to School from Zoe Thorogood at Image on May 8th.
Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Redder from Chip Zdarsky, Gail Simone, Zoe Thorogood, Bill Quee Evely, Bruno Redondo, Babs Tarr, Kyle Starks, Chris Schweizer, Chris Condon, Jacob Phillips, Kelly Thompson, and many more. That's out on DC on July 16.
That was so good. And I'm not even a Harley Quinn fan. Hurricane Nancy from Nancy Burton at Fanagraphics on June 5th.
The Iron Fist War Picture Library from Van Holding, Hugo Pratt, out from Rebellion 2000 AD on July 3rd.
Lost Worlds of George Metzger from George Metzger, Fanagraphics, May 22nd.
Maple Terrace from Noah Van Sciver from Uncivilized on May 22nd.
Absolute Mr. Miracle from Tom King and Mitch Gerads, DC Comics, November 12th. Anybody thinking of Christmas presents for me? The big ass Mr. Miracle sounds very good.
The Absolute Mr. Miracle. That's going to be cool.
Yeah. I love the Absolute editions.
Yeah. Newburn Volume 2 from Chip Zdarsky and Jacob Phillips from Image Comics on May 29th.
The Penguin Volume 1 from Tom King, Chip Zdarsky, Rafael De La Torre, and Steven Subic. Belen Ortega from DC Comics on June 25th.
All right. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, the deluxe edition from Tom King and Bill Queese Evely from DC, out on July 23rd.
If people are looking for Christmas in July presents for Tad, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
The White Trees, A Black Sand Tale from Chip Zdarsky and Chris Anka, out from Image Comics on May 8th.
Wonder Woman Volume 1, Outlaw from Tom King and Daniel Sampere from DC Comics on July 2nd.
And if you're dumb enough that you haven't been reading Wonder Woman already, there's your opportunity. No word on whether it's including the backup kids stories or whether they will be collected separately.
Okay. Cool.
Ouch.
Yeah, the first one I wanted to talk about was Anansi Boys. This is based on the Neil Gaiman novel of the same name. New York Times bestselling author Neil Gaiman joins forces with Eisner-nominated Adora writer Mark Bernardin and Thief of Thieves co-creator Sean Martinbrough to adopt Gaiman's Locus and British Fantasy Award-winning novel as a comic book series for the first time and soon-to-be television show on Amazon Prime. Fat Charlie Nancy leads a boring life as a boring Londoner until he discovers two things: that his recently deceased father was, in fact, Anansi the Spider, the trickster god of African folklore, and that he has a twin brother that he's never met, which kicks off a reality-spanning odyssey of sibling rivalry, jealous deities, and one poor soul who will realize what it means to be a god.
And this is kind of in the American Gods universe.
Yep.
And I love that they're doing David Mack covers again.
Yep.
Mack does such great covers.
I like the Neil Gaiman
like
adaptations of his novels.
I do too.
They're really good. And then Neil Gaiman being a comic book writer, just lends itself to being much more awesome.
Briar is returning.
Yeah.
With issue 5. Right now they're saying 5 of 8, but I think they're hoping to go 12. Okay. There was one point where they'd been greenlit to 12, but then things happened. So now that they're back, we can cross our fingers. Christopher Cantwell with new artist but I mean, not new artist, but new to the series artist, Alex Lins, who worked with Chris on Hellcat.
Oh yeah.
Uh, in the wake of slaying Deadcrawl, Rendrid's henchmen, Briar and her companions have become quite the band of bounty hunters with a reputation for murder and mayhem that belies their chivalrous intentions. But overzealous local authorities are not the only foes Briar will face, as Spider hatches a plan that will get them closer than ever to Briar's malevolent fairy godmother, to the castle of Grendrid herself. Eisner Award nominated writer, producer, and director Christopher Cantwell, *Halt and Catch Fire* and *Thanos*, is joined by rising star Alex Lins, *Hellcat* and *Crypt of Shadows*, continuing this reimagined, unforgettable, dark fantasy adventure.
I can't wait for it. I've already got the first 4. I'm ready for this.
Very psyched for this.
Yeah.
And not just because Chris is a friend.
Right. But it's a great series.
Yeah, no, there were some hiccups along the way, and I was worried that we weren't going to get to see his planned ending for this. So I'm really happy that we're seeing more.
Mm-hmm.
Really happy and hoping that, this 5 of 8 becomes 5 of 12 sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that would be cool. Next up, we're going to talk about Deadpool Wolverine World War III from Joe Kelly and Adam Kubert. Wade Wilson and Logan at the ends of the earth and each other's throats. The most intensely mismatched team-up in comics and pop culture, the best there is in the Merc with the Mouth, undergoes a radical change as we kick off a 3-part globe-spanning saga for the ages. The mysterious Delta believes in change. Change is good. But as he sets his sights on Deadpool and Wolverine is caught up in the plot, is the third time really the charm or the curse? Get ready for World War III to erupt on the scene with the wildest duo in comics from legends Joe Kelly and Adam Kubert.
I love Joe Kelly.
Yeah, I do too. I'm really excited about this. It really coincides with the new Deadpool Wolverine movie coming out. I'm kind of excited about that. I've always been a fan of the X-Men Deadpool universe movie franchise. So.
All right. My Bad, Escape from Peculiar Island #1. From Mark Russell, Bryce Ingman, and Peter Krause. Unmasked and exposed, the crime-fighting Chandelier is finally defeated by the IRS. Former U.S. President John Amazing Adams assumes governorship of the tropical Peculiar Islands, featuring a zap-worthy underground incentive cover by Shannon Wheeler. I just love My Bad. I love My Bad.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I already gave Bryce a hard time because apparently, we've got our John Amazing Adams, but John Adams is also in Philadelphia. So I mean, somehow he's a vampire and a governor of an island. He's in demand these days.
Yeah. Definitely.
Demand these days. So how about some graphic novels, Tyler?
Yeah, this one just looked interesting, so I decided to talk about it today. This is Curveball from Pablo Cartea and Miguel Diaz-Rivas. Roller Girl meets Cardboard Kingdom in this original contemporary graphic novel from award-winning author Pablo Cartea and New York Times best-selling illustrator Miguel Diaz-Rivas. Baseball is Elena Rueda's entire life. She may be the only girl on her team, but she's the best player and everyone knows it. Except Elena has stopped having fun, and it's time to leave the sport behind. The problem is, Elena has no idea who she is without a bat in her hand. Can a summer spent with her brother's quirky friends in an empty sandlot that offers a world of possibilities show Elena who she is and teach her to love to play again? I thought it looked really interesting. I thought it looked cool.
It's a baseball book, so I'm always happy.
Yeah.
Karate Prom.
I can't wait for
from
this.
Kyle Sparks. It's the best night of your life if you can survive it. Don the Dragon Wilson Jones is the finest fighter Benjamin Harrison High School has ever produced. But when he enters the ring against Lincoln High's Sam Stedman, it's love at first knockout. Unfortunately, Sam has a jerky ex-boyfriend, and Don has a seriously terrifying ex-girlfriend. Like global crime cartel terrifying. From prom to the after party to graduation, Don and Sam and an increasingly eclectic cast of supporting oddballs will have to fight their way through a gauntlet of opponents, all in the name of love and punching. Did we mention the punching? Fast-paced, madcap, and completely free of any kind of redeeming or morally thoughtful content. Karate Prom is the loving homage to teen comedies of the 80s, as well as badly dubbed kung fu films. From Kyle Starks on May 8th.
I love Kyle Stark's books, so
I do too.
I'm just.
I mean, you know that this is going to be amazing.
Yeah,
you know it's going to be amazing
for sure.
Yeah. Secondhand Love, Yamada Murasaki from Drawn and Quarterly. Drawn soon after the critically acclaimed Talk to My Back, which I loved.
Yeah.
The two stories in Secondhand Love mark the triumphant return of Yamada Murasaki, one of literary manga's most respected feminist voices. Through a cracked door, heartsick Emmy hears a playful growl. Cautiously, she lets her lover in, a wolf of a man wielding a bouquet of roses. His shoulders must have been 4 inches wider than mine. As I stood behind him, I fantasized about the broadness of his chest and the thickness of his neck, and about becoming his mistress once again. So, Yamada Murasaki.
I like the cover a lot. For our...
Well, and I loved Talk to My Back.
Mm-hmm.
Just really interesting to see the cultural differences. Interesting, just I've reached a point in my life where I love reading things that aren't from the dominant male perspective.
I agree.
Thank you.
I agree. All right. Next book up, we got Sherlock Holmes and Doctor Was Not, trade paperback, from Christopher. I'm going to read all these names. Christopher Sakura, Philip Cornell, Julie Dittrich, Ron Fortier, Nancy Holder, Rafe McGregor, Brad Mengel, Will Murray, Dennis O'Neill, Andrew Salmon, Jay Sherpenhusen, and I.A. Watson. Artist Philip Cornell, and coverers Luke Spooner. What's cool about this is it's 12 mind-bending tales by talented genreists. Imagine that Sherlock Holmes' best friend, roommate, fellow investigator, and biographer was indeed a doctor, but just not Watson. As we see different doctors from history or literature, like Dr. Jekyll or Dr. Van Helsing, or even Gunslinger Doc Holliday, occupy the vacancy at 221B Baker Street, Christopher Sakura, editor, conceptualist, front and end art by Philip Cornell, writers. Oh, I could just stop.
We went through that already.
I did go through all that already.
Yeah.
I'll edit that.
So
off.
I love the concept here.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Let's have it all be doctors, but one of them, but not Watson.
Yeah,
and I love that there's a Denny O'Neill story. Which means either they've been working on this for a long time, or he done. Yeah, I don't even know. I'm curious just to find out, because Denny passed away a couple years ago now.
Yeah.
So seeing Dennis O'Neill really caught my attention.
Yeah, for sure. Can't wait for that book. That's going to be really cool. All right, Young Hag and the Witch's Quest from Isabel Greenberg.
I love Isabel Greenberg.
Yeah, the artwork on this looks so cool. I really like it. Once there was magic in Britain. There were dragons and wizards and green knights and round tables and kings that pulled swords out of stones. But now the doors to the other world have closed and the magic is gone. All that is left are the stories of those bygone days. Young Hag, her mother, and her grandmother, Ancient Crone, are the last of the witches in Britain. At least that's what Ancient Crone says. Young Hag has grown up hearing those tales and believing in the power of her grandmother. But when tragedy strikes and their world is shaken, young hag turns her back on magic. She is sick of the tales of family curses, fairy doors, lost magic, and ancient swords. If they are witches, where is their magic when they really need it? And then one day they find a changeling baby in the woods. Confronted with real magic at last, young hag has no choice but to believe. She sets off on the greatest quest of her life to bring the magic back to Britain. But when faced with magic and myth, can young hag put aside her doubts and fears? So this sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I like the idea of, those old. I mean, Britain does have a long history and myth of being magical, and I think this is gonna be a really cool book.
All right, some collections. Black Hammer: The End, which we'll actually be talking about next week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All 6 issues come out. Or maybe we won't talk about it next week. Maybe we have to wait for issue 6 to come out. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, Eisner Award-winning superhero saga returns in the story picking up immediately after the events of the hit Reborn series. In this multi-timeline world-hopping adventure, we find new stakes, new heroes, and the long-awaited return to Black Hammer Farm, with the Weber family reunited and facing many new challengers and villains in Jeff Lemire's biggest event in the Black Hammer series thus far. Black Hammer: The End, numbers 1 to 6, and features a sketchbook section and bonus art by Tony Zonjic, Tyler Crook, Caitlin Yarsky, David Rubin, Max Fiamura, and Wilfredo Torres. In stores July 31st.
That looks really good. It's been really good. The collected edition should be cool. All right, Black Widow by Kelly Thompson. And art by Elena Casagrande and Carlos Gomez and various other artists. The cover art was J. Scott Campbell. All right, the entire Eisner Award-winning series in a single book. Something is very wrong with Natasha. She's happy. She's reveling in the perfect life she never dreamed she could have. But scratching the surface of that peaceful existence reveals something very wrong lurking beneath it, and a woman like Nat just can't help but scratch. Beyond the Golden Gate Bridge lies a mystery only the Marvel Universe's greatest spy can solve, but doing so will be the most emotional adventure of her long life. As the Black Widow adjusts to a revised status quo in San Francisco, allies old and new will help her target a mysterious emerging threat in the city by the bay, a dangerous villain known only as Apogee. But even more deadly is the Living Blade, the one skeleton in Natasha's closet she'd hoped she'd never encounter again. So, yeah.
Alrighty.
If you're a Black Widow...
Deep cuts from Kyle Higgins, Joe Clark, Ramon Perez, Danilo Bellaruth, Helena Masalas, Diego Greco, Junie Ba, Toby Cypress, Igor Monti, and letters by Hassan Atzman El How. New Orleans, 1917, a clarinet player meets his hero. Kansas City, 1940, a young girl investigates the mystery of her father's lost love of music. Los Angeles, 1977, a band embarks on a world tour that may be their last. Writers Kyle Higgins and Joe Clark are joined by an all-star cast of artists for an anthology of stories that weave tales of struggle, joy, and hope through the history of jazz. Out on May 22nd. I've loved this series.
Yeah.
Loved this series.
Yeah, it's been awesome. All right, next up, The Penguin from Tom King and Chip Zdarsky. Art by Rafael De La Torre, Steven Sobick, and Balin Ortega. The Penguin, the king of Gotham City's criminal underworld, has died, is contentedly living in Metropolis in a not-so-well-deserved retirement. With his children fighting over his vast criminal empire, the once great crime boss is cooking dinners for his girlfriend and buying expensive suits until the U.S. government enlists the Penguin as their agent to take back the Iceberg Lounge and his empire. To become the man he once was, the Penguin must collect the right pawns and employees by using every wile and wit at his disposal. So that sounds awesome. I mean, I've read the first couple issues of it, and I'm planning on
Oh,
buying the
I'm up
trade.
to date.
Are you?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've
It's
loved it. I just
fantastic.
am behind.
And it's got some like there's like Penguin Year One type stuff going on too. So it's like back and forth tale. Uh, yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
So
All right.
let's talk some Black Hammer.
Well, actually, don't we have to do our final cut or
Oh
cutoff this
yeah,
week?
yeah. Final order cutoffs. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
You want to take the final order cutoffs?
Sure.
Well,
Final order
I
cutoff.
look at some stuff.
Akogun, Brutalizer of Gods, Marawa Aodel, and Doton Akande from Oni. That's April 2nd. Then we got Barbaric, Born in Blood from Michael Morisi and Nathan Gooden from Vault on April 10th. Deadweights from Tyrone Finch, Sebastian Parise from Ahoy on April 10th. Principles of Necromancy from Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, and Eamon Winkle from Magma on April 3rd. Then we've got Something Crawled Out from some M. Cass, Mad Curspiriano, and Vault on April 1st. Last one is Spectrograph from James Tiny in the 4th, and Christian Ward from Distillery on April 24th.
All right, Kickstarters. You've got 5 more days for Sync Monsters from John Lees and Alex Cormack. Comics Tribe through March 8th. Impossible Jones, Volume 2, the Ultra Cool Collector's Editions from Carl Kessel and David Hahn. You've got about a week through March 14th. Also through March 14th is Billy 99 from the late Tim Sale and Sarah Bynum. This is actually one of his first comics works being collected.
Okay.
Mutiny, Black Girl Magic from Crystal Adams, Asaya Fulmore, Amanda Adams, Fabrice Sapolsky from Fair Square. You've got through March 26th. Black and White hardcover editions from Kwanzaa Osei Shefo, Tim Smith 3, Jamal Eagle from Black Mask through March 29th. That's the Only Black People Have Superheroes.
Uh-huh.
That's such a fun series. Or only black people have superpowers.
Superpowers, yeah.
But and otherwise it's our world. So, yeah. And then the really complete Paradise 2, which is mostly proto Strangers in Paradise cartoons from Terry Moore.
Which
March 29th.
I think is going to just be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. 3 amazing new books this week. Ted, I really loved The Nasty, number 7.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. This has just been just great. I don't even know what to say about it other than John Lees was just on the show. Go back and listen to his conversation with Tad and Alex Cormack. But this book,
you can go all the way back and listen to John Lees and Adam Calhoun talk about The Nasty.
That's true. This was out from Vault. My second pick was Deep Cuts number 5 from Kyle Higgins and Joe Clark and Junie Ba from Image. Tad just got done talking about Deep Cuts, so I won't go into a whole lot there, but it's awesome.
Well, the critic who doesn't want to like free jazz, but then manages to discover free jazz.
Right.
It's just really, really cool.
Yep. And then a series that I'm new to, but I got caught up in a hurry. Newburn 15.
So good.
Newburn number 15 from Chip Zdarsky and Jacob Phillips from
you got
Image.
caught up, I think, just in time for it to end. I think the next one.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Might be it.
I think so.
If not the next one, I know we're definitely coming up on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Jill and the Killers number 2.
Okay.
I loved the first issue of this, and I continue to love it. It's your murder mystery, high school girls, small town. Thank you, Eddie. You're very, very helpful.
Your cat's got his
Um,
butt in your face.
I finally got caught up in part because I read one of her novels this week, White Widow, #4, the final issue from Sarah Gailey and Alessandro Miracolo at Marvel. I love Gailey.
Yeah.
I love Gailey. Their work is just amazing. Their prose is great. Their books are great. Eat the Dead. Know Your Station. White Widow wound up being funnier than I expected it to be. You
Was it?
know, yeah, no, I can't remember White Widow's real name right now, but like part of it is her deciding, like the running theme is her deciding, does she love this, like this, neutral, dislike, hate
Uh-huh.
for everything from like broccoli to kicking ass to the coffee shop on the corner, etc. Um, as always with Gailey, it's a pretty scathing critique of um, oligarchy disguised as capitalism. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And then Deep Cuts #5 was also just fantastic. Um, hats off as well to Penguin #7 was great this week. Hack Slash Back to School #3, Detective Comics 1082, Rare Flavors 4, Star Trek Defiant 12
You know what I
were
almost made my number
all
one?
books that I loved.
Um,
Would you almost make your #1?
well, because I didn't read it on time, was Ultimate Spider-Man #2. So I
Oh,
I read it recently, like this week, and I assumed it was
right.
from this week, but it was in my pile from last week. So
Gotcha.
so I almost made that my #1, and then I went, wait a minute, this didn't
I
come
know
out.
how that goes sometimes.
All right, but in our great responsibility this week, we're going to talk about World of Black Hammer. First up, we're going to talk about Colonel Weird and Little Andromeda. What
I dug this.
I
I
really,
dug all of the different
I was
artists.
just going to say, all of the
You
different
know, Ray
artists.
Fox and Tate Brompal did most of the writing.
Yeah,
You got art from, well, we have art from. Get rid of that thing.
Tyler Bentz, Andrea Sorrentino, Marguerite Savage, Yuko Shimizu, Danny, Nick Robles, Sean Curunero, and Ariella Christentina.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, all
Steve
of
Mons, Bill Crabtree, Jordy Belair, Dave Stewart, Nick Robles,
yeah,
all bringing the crazy.
it was so crazy. Some of it looked like it was like colored with crayon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. No, I mean, it's essentially weird trying to prevent, it's weird realizing how mean, you know, how hard it was for everybody to be on the farm and
yep.
trying to change everything by going back and um preventing Andromeda from even finding the Parazone, but instead, in like predictable fashion, having this spaceman from the future show up to young Andromeda just spurs him on all the more.
Right, because I mean, if you got proof that this is real,
Right, right.
wouldn't you? When I mean,
So yeah,
I
it
mean,
becomes,
it's a
the
self.
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes, so I was just gonna say that this self-fulfilling prophecy that
Right.
Weird has done, but
Well, and it makes the whole thing become so. Would it have happened if Weird hadn't gone back?
yeah, I mean that's the thing. We're left wondering that question.
Now we have this crazy time loop.
Yeah,
But it was just fun art. Uh, lots of homage to all sorts of different comic styles.
yep,
Um, I think this was originally published through his Substack.
yeah.
So like the story lengths aren't uniform.
I
you
didn't
know.
realize that it was came out so recently. It looks like the publication date was just
Yeah,
last March, a year ago.
something like that.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was so recent. Um, but yeah, this was really good. I'm glad I read it because this is like the stuff that I didn't
The
read.
Sorrentino part is just crazy.
It is very crazy, and that's what I love about the team up of Jeff Lemire. I guess maybe that
Right.
wasn't Jeff Lemire. It could have been Tate Brumble. Um,
I
but
mean, Lemire definitely oversaw everything.
yeah,
It was Lemire's Substack that it came out on, but it was Bromball doing most of the writing,
hmm
I think.
is this the first time in the Black Hammer universe that we see a different writer?
No, because Bromball did most of the writing for um
Um,
Barbalian,
yes, he did.
and Ray Fox co-wrote um Black Hammer 45.
Okay, yeah, that's
So
right.
these two writers had already done writing in Black Hammer.
Okay,
And most of the artists had done work too, but not all of them.
yeah, but Sorrentino's part in this is bizarre,
Yeah.
and I mean, it reminds me a lot of that Black Barn
Everything
series.
reminds you of
Yeah,
Gideon Falls,
Gideon Falls. Yep,
even though you can never remember the name of
Gideon Falls.
it.
You knew what I was gonna say.
I did.
Yes, that's funny.
I mean, that's definitely their defining book together.
Yeah,
Though I think that that what's the word I'm looking for? I think that the
I think
the
everything reminds me of Gideon Falls because that's where I was. That's my first introduction to Sorrentino.
they'd actually done a Green Arrow run together before that.
Did they?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check it out because I didn't.
It's good. I
Yeah.
haven't read all of it, but it's good.
Did you?
I think eventually we're gonna look back on um God, why can't I remember the Bone Orchard Mythos
Yeah,
as their defining work together.
probably.
It's so um ambitious, and yet they've still managed to like consistently deliver.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
I agree. It's been awesome when I can keep up with it.
Yeah. So then we went all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah, be pre-beginning. Really, it's
Uh,
before the event that sent everybody to the farm.
what'd you think of the fact that the each book is, and this is another one that was released through the Substack, so I don't think there were ever single issues released in print. I think it came out in print in the graphic novel. But what'd you think of the numbering?
I thought that was really interesting. I thought
I love that every issue is numbered in like the mid 200s. It's ish. What was the first issue?
I don't have them in front of me, but I was like,
I
it confused
Yeah,
me at first. At first, I
yeah.
was like, what the heck?
The first issue is Black Hammer number 234.
Yeah,
Black Black Hammer the Hyper Guild War. So we see what was supposed to be like kind of Black Hammer and Gale in particular, their last hurrah.
yep,
Hammer comes home, and his wife and his daughter have been worried about him for so long. And Gale's just tired and like doesn't like being a little kid anymore. So like they both move on. And she just retires. Hammer gives his hammer away to a very static like character.
yeah,
Um, this Wire is definitely very much inspired by Static.
hmm
Um, but then of course he dies, and not long after you have anti-God. And what do you do if you're Black Hammer? And it's like you promised your wife and daughter
You just
that
stay
you
out of
were
it.
done, etc.
Yep.
But the option here is everybody dies, including you and your wife and daughter,
Exactly.
or you go back to work.
This would have been such a defining moment in Lucy's mind too about, you know,
Right.
because she later on in life has similar feelings of wanting to quit the superhero
Right.
business and being pulled back in.
Right.
So I'm sure to her, seeing her father, quote unquote, retire, and then it feels this need that he's got to go because he doesn't have a choice. I just feel like it's poetic, you know. I really like Stefano Simone's artwork in this.
Yeah.
It's very sketchy, kind of, but not sketchy like Jeff Lemire's artwork, but in his own style.
Right.
I thought it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it's as the universe is like coming together, um, I like the decision to do this last,
Yeah,
or not quite last, but
yeah. Right before we go
um,
into the last.
because we've really Black Hammer for almost the entire thing has been he's been a memory of the character. So this is really the first time that we really see Black Hammer as
Yes,
Black Hammer.
correct. Yep, and that's
Uh,
why this feels a little bit weighty. It's got some.
so it gives weight. It makes me interested to see. I haven't actually read any of the end yet. In part because I mistook it for Last Days for whatever reason. I thought they were doing single issues of Last Days, so I wasn't prioritizing it.
Okay.
So I'm kind of excited to read it like together.
Yep.
Uh, and it does look like the last issue comes out on March 27th.
Okay. So a couple weeks away.
So we probably want to rework things and do visions
I
next.
agree.
Um, check something. When does our 20th? So we could do visions for next week
Yep.
on the 10th.
Move your mic a little closer.
We could do visions for next week on the 10th,
Yep.
and then JLA Black Hammer for the week after that,
Right.
and then Metro Book Volume 5 for the week after that,
Yep.
and then wrap up Black Hammer right after that last Black Hammer comes out.
Perfect.
So I think that's our order. So
Next week is
next week
Visions.
we'll do some Black Hammer not by Jeff Lemire. It's all in the universe,
Yep.
but none of it's by Jeff Lemire.
Yep.
Um, so that'll be interesting.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about these two?
No, I really enjoyed them. I never read the World of Black Hammer books when they came out, except for 45, Black Hammer 45, and so this is fun. These really add flavor to the world. You could read the series like I've done, read the series without reading these World of Black Hammer books, and still get a good. You still know what's going on. But these just add so much more context and background and flavor.
Well, it's like reading just Uncanny X-Men or, okay, I'm going to read New Mutants and I'm going to read
Yeah.
X-Force. I'm going to read,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Probably even better put together.
Yes.
Because I don't think Lemire, I mean, it's not that he didn't care about sales, but he wasn't trying to lift the sales of one book by tying it in with another,
Correct. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I think he probably designed the main run of Black Hammer to be able to be read all by itself. And if you wanted to read the other stuff, that would be supplemental.
Right. Right.
Um, Kind
Cool.
of the advantage of doing your own thing
Yeah, for sure.
rather than having it tie in
Yep.
the big universe. So let's talk about next week.
Yeah. What do you think looks
Well,
good for next
first, a
week?
couple of books I know are amazing because I've read them. Beyond Real #2 is finally coming out. Zach sent me, I think, the first three of these.
That's
That
cool.
sounds right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and reread the first one.
Uh, and then Night People #1
Yeah,
comes out.
got Night People on my list.
Chris Condon again hooked me up with the first one, and oh my God, is it good? And what both of those have in common is they use multiple artists. Beyond Real, actually sometimes has multiple artists in the same issue. Night People, each issue will have a different artist. Um, so yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to them. As am I looking forward to Love Everlasting #13. Kind of sad that this is going to go on hiatus just as it's getting. I mean, it's always been so good, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, right.
But I'm looking forward to the other things Elsa has in store. I get that she's got to have time to do her own work. And it's not like we'll have any shortage of amazing Tom King stuff to read.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
and then Red Light #3 from Sarah Cho and Priscilla Petrades at AWA. I have adored this series. Sarah Cho was so fun to talk to. I can't wait for this to wrap up and to bring her back for a nice spoilery conversation of it all. Um, and then Torpedo 1972, #1, Enrico Sanchez Abuli and Eduardo Riso from Ablaze. Torpedo is an old, like, assassin type slash crime series that was actually originated by Alex Toth and passed off to a number of other phenomenal artists through the years.
Okay.
So seeing Eduardo Rizzo with that character, I'm really looking forward to. So,
Nice.
what do you got, Tyler?
Well, the Ultimate Universe is kicking off with Spider-Man, and next up is Ultimate X-Men #1 by Peach Momoko. She's doing the writing and the art.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, it looks great. You know what her style looks like.
Did you see Dennis Camp is going to be doing the Ultimates?
Oh, cool. No, I didn't know that. I'm going to definitely have to read that. And then Night People #1 from Chris Condon and Barry Gifford and Brian Level from Oni Press. I saw this not because of Chris Condon. I just saw this on Oni Press's site, and I'm like, oh, that looks awesome. I have to get that.
Well, Barry Gifford wrote. You ever seen Lost Highway?
Yeah, the David Fincher movie.
Yeah, no, the David Lynch movie.
David Lynch. I don't. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
I meant
yeah,
Lynch.
That's Barry Gifford.
Okay.
The writing. So I mean, it's that kind of weird.
Yep. And then
good stuff. I liked it.
Love Everlasting from Tom and Elsa. I'm very much looking forward to seeing this cowboy
this so
western stuff wraps up.
Yeah, so good.
It is really good.
And you said what? They're going through 15.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be taking some time off.
Yeah.
So
we got a couple left.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I've lost steam. I have a headache.
Do you? I've lost steam because I'm just tired, and I gotta get this edited and put up on the interwebs.
I've got a couple other things that I need to try to do tonight. You got the I sent you the link for our pulp blotter earlier.
Yep.
All right. Then we'll have that up. And I got a couple of interviews tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So you'll have those when you're waiting, or when you get waiting for you when you get home.
Sounds good. I'll get to work on it tomorrow night. All right. To our listeners out there, we'll catch you guys after the next page. See ya. Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22panelspodcast.